All right, gang, Royd Free Senior back. Today I want to talk about a couple, actually three variations of the rest pause routine. The first one is going to be from Rader from about 40 years ago, almost, an 84 article in Iron Man, and it's called Combining Rest Pause with the 1.5 System. The obvious question is, what is the 1.5 system? And the simple answer is it's just doing a rep and a half instead of one rep. So, but in particular, so you do a full rep in regular style. You start as if you're going to do a second rep, but you stop right in the middle and you kind of do a little rebound there to finish that second rep. And then you continue on your macro set with those little mini, basically single and a halves, whatever you want to call them. Most people, when they talk about rest pause, they'll give you a time in between each rep, and it's usually somewhere between 10 and 30 seconds. Peary's on the much later side of that, suggesting 10 as kind of a maximum. But as just like in the 20 rep breathing squat with Peary, he likes to take several deep breaths. And in fact, he suggested 4 deep breaths is 10 seconds. So that's a good way. And he really feels that the deep breaths are really part of, making the gains on this type of a program. And he suggests 5 exercises in this particular article. You could really do it with anything that you wanted to. But his 5 exercises in the article are the squat, the deadlift, the bent over row, the bench press, and the barbell curl. The easiest ones probably to do in this style would be the deadlifts and the rows because, in between each rep, you just put the bar on the floor until you're ready for the next set. Curls wouldn't be too bad. Benching would get a little dicey on a conventional bench because then you would have to put the bar back up on the racks and pull it back off in between each rep, which almost requires spotters. Would be difficult without. But there's ways around that too, because you could simply you could use a Smith machine or a chest press, and you could probably do it yourself that way. And a lot of machines really lend themselves to this. The simplest method that I've been doing is just instead of a typical set of 8 or 10 or 12, done in standard cadence, whether it's 3 seconds up, 3 seconds down, or whatever your speed is. When you get to where you can't do another consecutive rep, you stop. You take a couple deep breaths, 3, 4, 5, whatever it takes. One good machine for that is leg presses, because at the extended position, you're not really, working your legs too much, actually holding the weight there. So, for example, I did the last time I did the big leg press, I did 18 reps only with 6 plates. So it's not a lot of weight, but normally I only would do a maximum of 8 reps on that machine. Go up a little heavier, but I felt like higher reps at the lighter weight would be pretty good. So, basically I did my standard like 8, maybe I got to 10 in normal speed, doing slow eccentrics and stuff, and then would stop at the top, take a couple breaths, bang out a couple more. Do the same thing, take 2, 3 breaths, bang out a couple more until I got 18 reps. So that's about the simplest way to do rest pause, and again, you can do that with any exercise. So Peary's method with the 1.5 is a little bit different, and it makes it each rep a little bit more difficult. He suggests up to 10 reps. To me, that's a lot, especially on the really heavy stuff like squats and deadlifts. I would be more inclined to do 5s and you might want to start with something a weight that you could normally do 2 to 3 normal reps with. Okay, but you want to go up to like 5 reps with the rest pause, so that you're only getting, you're supposed to get ideally again 10 seconds or 3 or 4 breaths in between each. Now, Anello had a 14-week deadlift program, which he did not label or describe as a rest pause system, but it is, although the rests are a little longer, they're a minute. And a minute is about the max that anybody would suggest for a rest pause set or a rest pause system. His application for the deadlifts, he only did these every other week. He deadlifted it in some form every week, but the in-between weeks he would be focused on really heavy rack pulls, like from the knee. And then, so on the weeks that he's doing, he would do 5 singles, and he would start out at maybe about 80% of his max. Okay, so you're doing a single, you're resting a minute, and staying at the same weight, come back again, hit another single until you've got 5 reps, which is pretty challenging if you stick to the minute, and that is very key. If you go much over a minute, it kind of takes away the whole purpose of doing rest pause. So that was Vince's take on the rest pause. Vince also did heavy negatives too. And then we go to Mike Mentzer, who talks about getting in. He did a lot of different techniques for extending a set even beyond failure. I mean, we all know that Mike advocated 1 set to failure. That doesn't include warm-up sets, and you can, especially on the heavier stuff like deadlifts, if you need 2 or 3 warm-up sets to get thoroughly warm where you're not going to tear anything and you feel comfortable, so be it. That's not a problem, even with the Mike Mentzer high-intensity program. But Mike was saying that he had been using pre-exhaust and force reps and stuff like that to make his high-intensity sets that much more intense. But he got to a kind of a plateau where even that didn't seem to be giving him the gains that he was looking for. So then he went into this rest pause mode. And him, like kind of the standard rest pause, he would pick a weight that he would normally do 2 or 3 reps with, and he would shoot for like 4 or 5 in the rest pause mode. And again, he likes to keep those rests short, like in that I think he's 10 to 15 seconds. Most people will advocate somewhere between 10 and 30 seconds, and then there are those who go with the full minute. And I've seen other variations where guys are doing ascending and descending sets of rest pause, which is kind of crazy. And then there's other guys that'll just pick a light weight that they could maybe do for 5 reps and do a single, wait a minute, do another single, and just keep doing that until they're just totally exhausted, which obviously would take a little longer. And I don't know if Mike Mentzer would advocate for that style. But there's a few applications of the rest pause. I'm going to wrap up here so as to keep the video reasonably short. Thanks for watching. Thank you, new subscribers. I hope those who haven't subscribed and have been watching will decide to subscribe. And I'm out. See you later.